Why am I so unhappy? Why do I feel unfulfilled? Why does my life seem to lack the real meaning and purpose that I know in my heart that I want and that I need? Hey there, this is Chris Lemig. Welcome to Gateway to the Limitless. I'm an author, spiritual educator, and former Tibetan Buddhist monk. And on this channel, I share videos with information about connecting with your true self, your true desires, and your true destiny. So why do we feel that way? Why do we feel unhappy? Why do we feel unfulfilled in life? It seems that this experience of unfulfillment, of unhappiness, of social anxiety, of stress, of just a general sense of incompleteness seems to be running rampant, right? Mental health issues are worse than they've ever been in our history. And this despite the fact that we're one of the richest nations here in the United States, where I'm doing this from. One of the richest nations in the world. Supposedly we've got everything, we've got it all, and yet we get the highest levels of depression, highest levels of anxiety, stress, mental illness. What's going on here? Well, the main thing is that we have become disconnected. We've become disconnected with our true selves, with who we truly are. Now, I wanted to just kind of highlight something here that, this channel, Gateway to the Limitless, and some of the things I talk about here, it's about, generating happiness for ourselves and learning how to manifest our true desires and things like that. And I just want to make it very clear that really our true desires, our true destiny is really to discover and to reconnect with our true selves. That is the ultimate goal of manifesting anything. If we're just manifesting, material things, houses and cars and money and things like that, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But ultimately, those things aren't really fulfilling. We need these things, and obviously we should have them and pursue them, and that's going to make our lives more enjoyable. But really the goal here, and the goal that I'm helping people with, is really to connect with their true selves. And what does that mean? Who are you really? What is your true self? We don't ask that question enough. We kind of relegate it to, something that, maybe, hippies or weirdos or whatever, kind of ask, like, who am I? And, run off and, try to find themselves in some spiritual quest. But really, the fact that we don't ask that question is the source of so much of our suffering and pain in this world. So who are you? Who are you really? If we start to take a look, if we start to examine ourselves and start to ask that question, and we start to look at, well, am I my name? Am I my body? Am I my profession? Am I my ethnicity, my religion, my relationship status, my career, whatever? We start to realize that actually none of those things are really who we are. And it's sort of like peeling the layer of an onion, where we're just peeling back, layer after layer, and we're like, no, wait a minute, I'm not just my name. If I was Chris, if that was me, if that was who I really am, then I'd be the same as all the other Chris's in the world. Or if I was just a Buddhist, if that's what made me who I am, that's the essence of who I am, then, what about all the other Buddhists in the world? And so on. As we pull back the layers, we start to realize that none of these things that we normally think of as being ourselves, as being our true selves, is really who we are. All these things are temporary. They're what we call adventitious. That means they just kind of come and go. They're conditional. They're conditioned by other causes You know, we're born into certain families, and so we have certain ethnic backgrounds and histories, and we have certain religious beliefs that we inherit. Even our names are given to us by other people. So all of these things are, they're conditional. They're not really who you are. When we start to investigate and really start to pull back all of the layers, we start to realize that who we really are, the essence of who we really are, is much deeper than any of that. It's much deeper and it's much more profound. When I use the word true self, what I'm really referring to is what we've been calling the essence of who we are in all sorts of different ways, in all sorts of different traditions. Some people call it the source. Some people call it the higher consciousness. Some people call it I am, the capital S self, the divine, Buddha nature, awareness. Whatever you call it, the essence of who you are is completely whole, complete, connected to everything in the universe, everything around you. You're connected to it. You're part of a greater consciousness. You're connected to that great I, that great self that is creating everything. And you are a co-creator in that process of creation because you are part of that consciousness, part of that awareness, part of that source. You're just like this little ripple of a wave that comes up out of this great ocean of consciousness, of divine awareness, inconceivable, limitless possibility, limitless love, limitless compassion and creativity. And we're just kind of popping up to the surface for a moment in these human forms with these names and these labels that we so strongly identify with, that we hold on to with our dear life because, God forbid, we should let go. Because it's terrifying. Because we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to believe that we're real, that we're permanent, that we're separate. And we feel like if we let go of that, if we let go of that ego identification that makes us think that we feel safe, that we're going to be in danger in some way. We're going to lose something. So we build up these walls, more and more walls, more and more labels, walling ourselves off from each other and from the rest of the world. And that's where all of our troubles come from. Everything that we see in the news that's negative, every tragic story, it all comes from this over-identification with a personal self, with a personal ego that falsely believes that it's separate from everything else and is desperately trying to either be happy or to protect itself. But here's the thing, when you start to let go of that, when you start to ask the question, who am I? Who is my true self? Who am I really? That fear, sometimes gradually and sometimes more quickly, but inevitably begins to lessen. Because you start to have experiences, an experience of who you really are. And who you really are is eternal. Who you really are is loving, compassionate, endlessly creative. You're complete and whole just as you are. You don't need anything. You don't need to add anything to make yourself worthy or better. You don't need to get rid of anything. Just as you are right now, you're whole and complete. Gurumai Chitilvananda said, all that awaits us is eternal perfect love. That's who you are. That's dissolving into your essence, your true essence. And when you're able to do that more and more, you just start to feel that love and feel that support and feel that, you know what, you're okay, just as you are right now. And when we start to recognize our true selves, we start to just feel lighter and freer. We're more loving to the people around us. We're more creative, and we start to create things in our lives that, yes, certainly are enjoyable, but they're also beneficial to others as well as to ourselves, because we see our interconnectedness. We see that we're all one. So yes, a lot of the videos that I put on this channel are about manifesting, and sometimes I throw around law of attraction and things like that. But really what we're attracting, what we're ultimately attracting here, is who we really are. Calling it to us, and us being called by it, so that we can go home to the source of our being. So I hope you found this video helpful or interesting. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Tell me what you think about this. What are you experiencing along your journey to discovering or rediscovering your true self? What's helpful for you? What's working for you? What's not? Like this video, that really helps. It helps get this word out. There's so much wonderful awakening happening in this world, and I just want to contribute a little bit to that. So like this video, share it, subscribe to this channel if you find it useful, helpful. And again, my name is Chris Lemig, and I'm an author, spiritual educator, and former Tibetan Buddhist monk. And take care of yourselves. Be well.